Hey traders, this is Cousin Vinny coming to you on the 29th of July with a week ahead look, and we'll just jump right into it. The ES is looking really good. We had this fib retracement level pegged this high and this low, and we had a wedge that we were trading over the last week until we broke down through it. We held the 50 period. Okay, so now it's time to readjust these, and it's becoming more like a channel. And now that we've broken above the highs here in the first week of July, we have the 127 extension as a possibility. Okay, we have this high up here, which occurred in May, and it's a very good possibility that we'll see 1408. Many people are talking 1420, but for the time being, I'm just looking to get back up to this upper trend line that we've been following since we got these pivots in here. Okay, RSI truly turned up nicely on Friday, Thursday, Friday, after we had these nice 3 candles, and now we can use this pivot up here. Either whether you use this pivot or this pivot, you can see that we broke through this in a substantial way. So that's the ES, and let's take a look at the futures. Oh, and by the way, if there is anyone out there that's a Thinkorswim expert, I would love to set up my Ninja charts to look like my TOS charts, or vice versa. The only reason why I use TOS is because of the Ichimoku overlay, okay, which Ninja Trader doesn't have. Okay, if Ninja had that particular overlay, I would probably just use Ninja, because I just like the interface. It's very clean looking, and it has all the tools that I need to make my trading decisions. Okay, so if there's anyone out there that has TOS experience and can make my TOS charts look like this with a white background and the candles the same size, yada yada yada, that would be great. Just shoot me an email at cousin.vinny@gmail.com. It's cousin with 2 N's, COUSIN.Vinny@gmail.com. Okay? Okay, so cruising on over to my ES chart on TOS, looking at the 5-minute, we can see that we're at 1382.50 in the night session over in Asia. Okay, we have this high at 1385 that we put in at 335 on Friday. Okay, so we're a little bit lower, but things are still looking good. We have the ECB talking about another promise on doing what's necessary to get things done. It'd be nice if they just did it and got it over with. I saw a talk about the possibility of coordinated bank intervention, and of course we have the Fed with the possibility that there'll be QE3. People have been talking about that as well. Okay, so the futures still look very good. We're still in an uptrend. If I overlay regression, there you go, 100 period, you can see we're in a nice uptrend. Okay, I mean, you can see that anyway, but I like to use this 100 period because mutual funds, hedge funds use this, so it's nice to have this as well. So you can very clearly see the trend, whether it's the ES or the US dollar. You can see the dollar is in a downtrend currently on the 5-minute. Let's take a look at the daily. And the daily, obviously, it's in an uptrend. We got a nice test of the Kumo, and it's something to be considering, that we could bounce here or move down to this lower trend line. Okay, which is what I'm expecting. You hit these upper and lower 100 period linear regression pivots, and now that we're below this midline, I'm expecting this to move down into the Kumo and possibly test this lower span. Now, without looking at the currencies, I like to look at DVV, the PowerShares Currency Harvest Fund, which is a reflection of the carry trade. And as long as this is moving higher, this is good for equities. So Very quickly we can see that Tikin and Kijun are both in an uptrend and sloping nicely, so I would expect this to continue higher. Looking at resistance levels coming up possibly in this area here at 2505. Keep an eye on DBV. Municipal bonds, MUB, these have been on a nice tear of late. The 20-year, we had quite a nice move on Thursday and Friday. I was talking to Hugh Carwitz in the professional trading room at Day Trader Bootcamp. He was talking about this level that we hit, and some people were talking about fading this move. And they would have, I don't know if they got in the trade, but they had a nice move down, and Kijun caught the price here, created a nice candle, although it was selling a red candle for the day on pretty big volume. Okay, so I'd expect a continuation of this move down to at least to the Kumo, and possibly a Tikin Kijun cross to the downside. Okay, watch Chiku, of course. Once Chiku gets towards price, you want to watch for a bounce or a move through price. If it moves through price, that's very bearish for the 20-year. Okay, let's just jump right into some charts. Okay, CHK is a trade I took on Friday, much to GTO's chagrin, who happens to dislike trading this particular stock. So anyway, I took it on a daily. There was some interesting options volume on Thursday with this particular open interest. Okay, so this is a play. It appears this is a play on earnings, which are on 8/6. Okay, so that'll be 2 weeks from now. Perfect for an APS run. Okay, my requested for a long was a breakout, which we got on Thursday, and a continuation above Kijun. Okay, you see that cross. Okay, this is technically called a Kijun cross, which is a signal that some traders take. I would like to see Tikin turn up and pass back through this. Okay, we have to be concerned about this upper trend line. We've since broken through the Kumo, and being the oil and energy sector has been on a tear of late. You can see this move off of this lower trend line in the middle of May after being sold off for quite some time. You know, we're starting to see a trend break. Okay, so if you extend this back to these highs, you can see that we're almost ready to break out, and I'm visualizing that that's going to be the case here. Okay, there's no promises, but that's what I'm looking for. Also posted an OIH chart on StockTwits. You can check that out. Let's overlay the volume at price so you can see where this comment about the Kirby comes in. Okay, so if you look at this big volume bar here, you can see where a lot of the trading has occurred over the last few months. Now let's zoom in a little bit. February. Okay, so you can see this area of lesser resistance to price, less volume occurred in this area here. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a move up to this trend line, a momentum move to the upside because of earnings, and a breakout of this channel. Now I got in this on Friday, so I'm already up on my trade. So my stop, if we get a move higher on Monday, my stop will be the low of this candle here. Okay, which is 1796. Okay, so that's my defined risk, this candle right here that we put in on Friday. Okay, so that's CHK. And I want to do something a little different. I want to look at GTO's charts. If you're not a member of Day Trader Bootcamp, do yourself a favor. Come check out GTO's site. His charts alone are worth the $2 a day that you'd pay for a subscription. And one good trade could net you, obviously, your subscription for the month. Okay. Also note, this guy is a really hot trader. I mean, he's only had one down quarter in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarters. Okay, so that was the fourth quarter of 2011, which most people lost money on. But look at these numbers. I mean, they speak for themselves. GTO is awesome, and one of the reasons why I moved over to his site. Okay, But let's take a look at CHK because he updated the chart specifically because he knew that I was going to trade this. CHK daily. The nice thing about GTO's charts compared to my Ichimoku charts is I like to look at both of them, and he already has predefined levels of resistance, which notice that where we are right now, the volume at price, or what he calls a Kirby, is right where price closed on Friday. Okay, so if we get up into this pocket here, which we've already tested 2 times, typically the first time we test the vacuum or the Kirby, it fails, which it did. We moved back up into it. We had a nice trade there, created these pivots here and this nice symmetrical triangle, and now I'm expecting this move to continue higher into earnings. Okay, August the 6th, aftermarket is confirmed. Notice the big short percent. I like to see both of these things if I'm taking an earnings trade. This is fuel for the fire. If we start to move into this Kirby again, you can see these shorts start to cover, and because it's earnings, you're going to have that extra momentum moving to the upside. You add to that what I told you before about this open interest and people playing this to the bull side. That compounds to be what I look for in a nice long going into earnings, a directional options play. Okay. Looking at a regular chart, I'm also looking at stochastics, which is starting to move higher. I would like to see a little bit more volume and a move above the 20 period here, this midline, and a move back up to this upper Bollinger Band. Okay, so that's in the 20 area. I have the 19s, so that's what I'm looking at. If you follow me, you know that I also use stochastics with MACD. I want to see MACD move higher and cross back through this signal line. Okay. Or moving average rather. There's also a list of stocks that GTO sent over to me during the night Thursday before we went on vacation, and a number of these are looking very well. Oxy, OXY, Kumo breakout similar to CHK, XOM, okay, and a nice Kumo breakout there. Back on 629, we failed a little bit, but we kept this support, and now we're moving higher above these pivots. Okay, notice where Chiku is now, moving higher. This obviously you don't want to chase this, but look at this level up here for a continuation. Okay, this nice cup and a little bit of a handle here. Let's look at SD. This is one that he likes a lot. I like to trade this too. We're looking for a Kumo breakout on SD. I won't say I am personally. We're going to look at his charts too right after this. RRC, range resources. We can see what a nice breakout there above Kumo, and looking for this to move higher. You can see this trend line that we broke above here, and now we're breaking above that level. Also looking at this high here for a breakout. So break above 62.63 should be a nice continuation on volume. Let's look at KEG. Some people were trading this last week. I know Tomahawk was trading this. We look like we're going to get a TK cross. Alright, so if you're trading this, it's looking like a shoulder head, and we look like we're going to get a shoulder right here in the middle of Kumo. So you might see a little bit more upside on Monday, Tuesday, but expect some resistance in here. So if you're playing options, I would probably trade a calendar or a bull call spread. Okay, so you can define your risk with this candle here probably being your stop on Monday or somewhere in the mid point here. So we have Kirby up here, a little pocket here. We got nice volume on Friday. HP. Looks like we might have a Kumo breakout here as well. And we have a little bit of a Kirby. I'm not sure what's earnings on these, so you guys have to check these. DNR. Alright, we're going to have a little bit of resistance in here, but there's no reason why with this volume that's starting to trend up that we couldn't blast through this. Okay, you got the Kumo and you got the volume at price here. We get above this level here, we get some nice move. Again, check your EPS and your EPS dates, and also check options to see if there's anything interesting playing there. If you see something, let me know in the room, okay? Or shoot me an email, cousin.vinny@gmail.com. That's 2 N's in cousin, okay? Let's see, COG. I know someone told me that this has Cabot oil and gas, but they're mostly in gas. I can't confirm that, I don't know. But someone reputable in our room mentioned that to me. We had this nice break above this trend line, and now we have this horizontal resistance which we've broken above as well. So also, if you look at options hawk prior to earnings, Cabot oil and gas, you can read this later. You can pause this if you like. But there was some interesting call volume going into earnings, which I believe was Thursday. Looks like we might get a Kumo breakout here as well. Alright, so looks like we're forming the right side of a cup. You could see it building a cup here, and if we move back above the Kumo, we have a nice breakout. I could see this forming a nice cup. This is actually a pretty chart. Again, these are coming from GTO. He sent me these 12 of these in like rapid fire session in about the span of like 30 seconds, things that he's watching. VS, we got resistance here, so this is not really a trade for me. I can see this, even though we had two nice days of volume, it's basing here. So I'd like to see what happens with the base. He likes ARLP as well. I think he called this one a firecracker. Alright, so you want to look at this resistance that we're breaking through here. This looks nice. This looks real nice. And getting above this area, I don't know where EPS is in terms of week or 2 weeks ahead, but this vacuum here looks really sweet if we get above this level here. Okay. He also looked at AEIS, which I'm not familiar with. Advanced Energy. I'm not crazy about this chart. Okay, let's take a look at his charts now real quickly. Let's see, CHK we already looked at. CIE. Okay, well, we'll skip CIE. Let's take a look at COG. Okay, you can see his support and resistance levels. Okay, you can see where we're above this vacuum level here. You can see this nice move above these levels here. So I look for this as a continuation. You can see where stochastics are and MACD's crossing again. SD, let's take a look at that. Oops. I've traded this one quite a few times with my buddy Ace 52-week high. You can see a nice base here. We break above these levels here and above this resistance line. We have the 200 period up here as a target, first target. That's a nice chart too. You can see where we have resistance here at the 200 period. There's a nice thing about GTO's charts. He has all these things marked up, and you can see very clearly where support and resistance are and other important information. See all of the charts he's got in here. All of these are marked up similarly. So XOM, let's take a look at XOM. XOM, if I remember correctly, did quite well on Thursday and Friday. Oh yeah, we had a nice breakout above this horizontal resistance. By the way, I'm pretty sure he uses these horizontal lines are all based on point and figure charts, which I use as well. So you can see these highs here. These are long-term support and resistance levels. These go back years, not the last 6 months. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to look through too many more because I'm at 22 minutes already. So I'm going to cut this short. Just remember to use your stops. Remember to look at your ES for your targets. We want to see a nice move higher on Monday. Okay, we'll take a look at futures before I close this out. Alright, so this is Cousin Vinny coming to you on the 29th with a look at the week ahead and some trades that I am currently trading and things that I'm looking at for a possible trade going forward. Take care. I hope this helps, and we'll talk to you in the room.